If you work or are planning to work in a school cafeteria, you might wonder whether you actually need a food handler card. I'm Gavin, a registered dietitian and the program administrator for FoodSafePal, a nationally recognized food handler card issuer. As part of my role, I spend a lot of time reviewing food handler card requirements across different states and settings. School food service workers are considered food handlers under the FDA food code. A food handler is anyone who works with unpackaged food, food equipment or utensils, or food contact surfaces. That's important because it means job titles don't really matter. If you're preparing food, serving meals, washing dishes, or handling utensils in a school kitchen, you might meet that definition. Some states require food handler cards at the state level. Others leave it up to the counties or local health departments. And even when a state requires food handler cards broadly, school food service workers may be treated differently. California and Illinois are good examples. Both states have statewide food handler card laws, but Illinois requires school food service workers to hold a food handler card, while California does not. Then there are states where there's no statewide requirements, but local rules may still apply. Arizona is one example where counties or local health departments can still require a food handler card, even without a state mandate. And even if a food handler card isn't required by the state or local health departments, employers can still require it. Many school districts and universities do this because food handler training reduces the risk of foodborne illness, lowers liability, and helps with health inspections. Now, if a food handler card is required or even just recommended, earning one online is usually the fastest and most convenient option. The most important thing is choosing an approved provider. Most states and local health departments only recognize food handler cards issued by programs accredited by the ANSI National Accreditation Board, or ANAB. That accreditation confirms the course content and exam meet nationally recognized food safety standards. There are a few exceptions. Some jurisdictions only accept food handler cards issued directly by the state or local authority. Common examples include Alaska, parts of Washington, Clark County in Nevada, and New York City. Outside of these limited cases, choosing an ANAB-accredited program is the safest way to make sure your card is valid and widely accepted. FoodSafePal's food handler course is ANAB-accredited. It's completely online, and most people can learn and test in about 90 minutes. It covers the core food safety topics school food service staff deal with every day, including personal hygiene, cross-contamination, time and temperature control, and cleaning and sanitizing. Once you pass, your food handler card and certificate are issued digitally right away, so you can download or print them immediately. If you want a physical copy, you can also upgrade to have one mailed to you. In most states, food handler cards are valid for 3 years. Texas is an exception, where they're valid for 2 years. To keep your card active, you have to renew it before it expires by completing another approved course and passing the exam again. Now, let's talk about when food manager certification is required in school food service. Nearly every state requires that at least one person in charge be a certified food protection manager. Food manager certification is earned by passing an accredited exam. There are no minimum education or experience requirements to sit for that exam, but it's much more in-depth than food handler training, which is why completing training is strongly recommended. FoodSafePal's food manager training is built specifically to prepare you for that exam. It's self-paced, takes about 5.5 hours to complete, and includes a full-length practice exam that shows you exactly what you got right and what you missed, something no other food manager training does. Once earned, food manager certification is valid for 5 years and must be renewed by passing the accredited exam again. So here's the bottom line. School cafeteria staff meet the definition of a food handler, but whether a food handler card is required depends on state law, local health department rules, and employer policy. When a card is required or recommended, earning one through an ANAB-accredited program like FoodSafePal's is the safest way to make sure it's accepted, with a few limited exceptions. And while food handler training applies to non-management staff, supervisors and those in charge typically need food manager certification, which is required in nearly every state. To earn your ANAB-accredited food handler card or train for the manager exam, head to foodsafepal.com.